Welcome. I think this is my first video I am recording under the banner of Ambedkar Janata Party. We know that we separated ADS, Ambedkar Defense Squad, and Ambedkar Janata Party. Now we separated these two. ADS, Ambedkar Defense Squad, that will be handled by some social activists like NGOs, like one NGO kind of organization it will be, and then Ambedkar Janata Party will be our political platform to talk. It will be political party for contesting or not. That much plan we don't have right now, but we just want a political platform, so we created this political platform to talk. Ambedkar Janata Party only to talk on our issues. Okay, let's go inside. There was a case I was actually wanted to discuss in this video. It's about Nitin Raj, a student, a scheduled caste student who was, it's not that a kind of a forced murder, because all suicides are one kind of indirect murders. So this student, he committed suicide in the college. A teacher's responsibility, it is not just to teach subject, and also to protect the dignity of the students and build the confidence in the students, right? That's a responsibility of the teacher. But what happens when a teacher is facing repeatedly accusations, allegations of humiliating a student over his caste? It's not a teacher-student normal satire. It is a caste-based satire, family background and appearance. And also he was humiliated based on his appearance. Can classroom humiliation become so severe that will force a student to commit suicide? Why that much of harsh humiliation by a faculty? So surprising. This is exactly the question before the Supreme Court today. The tragic death of 22 years old dental student Nitin Raj from Kerala. Recently, the Supreme Court refused anticipatory bail to the professor accused in the case because the evidence was very strong. The judges said that you cannot insult student and get away with it. It's not a normal insult. You insulted a student and then he was forced to commit suicide, and do you think that you'll get bail easily? That's what actually the judge said. So who was actually Nitin Raj? Nitin Raj, he was just a 22-year-old dental student studying in Anjarakandi Dental College in Kannur, Kerala. Instantly, he became a scheduled caste member. He is a student of a scheduled caste. So according to his family, he was a bright student, sincere student, and he wanted to become a doctor despite having a financial poor background. He did not get, so he joined in a dental college. His parents were daily wage laborers. So like thousands of first generation students in India, education was the family biggest hope. Every family have their hope on the children, the biggest hope. Now suddenly, what are the allegations against the teachers? According to Nitin's parents and many fellow students, problem started several months before his death. It's not one day, a single humiliation, and then he took a decision to commit. So it's not a single day. It's a several months humiliation he faced. They released two faculty members repeatedly humiliating him inside the classroom. Repeatedly they are humiliating inside the classroom. The allegations including their mocking at him of his caste. Faculty mocking at a student of his caste. Faculty mocking because his parents were laborers. And the faculty were mocking at him because of his dark complexion and because of his economic status. These are the four allegations faced by this faculty, and then students alleged that these insults were not private conversations. It's not that someone called into the cabin and then abused. That's not it. It is a classroom abuse. It happening in the class in front of the classmates and causing a deep humiliation to the student, and the family claimed to become mentally weak and mentally disturbed because of all this humiliation and harassment he is facing. These two professors who were accused, and so surprisingly head of the department, and he is complaining, head of the department is complaining, humiliating. So police later they invoked some provisions of the Scheduled Caste and Scheduled Tribes Act because of the alleged caste-based insult. Now what happened? What exactly happened? On April 10, 2026, that was the tragedy day. Nitin Ross fell from the 5th floor of the college building. He later died from his injuries. Police initially treated as unnatural death. They registered it as unnatural death. However, his family members knew what is happening. His family immediately alleged that he was not an isolated incident. It's not just that he slipped and fell down. It's not that unnaturally in accident he jumped because of humiliation. The family, they were strongly alleging this. They claimed continuous humiliation by teachers had pushed him into depression and ultimately to suicide. So the classmates also began speaking about the alleged harassment. When the parents opened their mouth, then the students started opening their mouth and telling that this is because of the faculty. So the incident triggered outrage across the Kerala. So student organizations demanded justice for the student. Questions were raised about the future inside professional colleges, and the police then began recording statements about students and faculty members. Now the police started investigating. During investigation, police examined statement of the classmates, statement of the faculty members, statement of the digital evidence, and the students' background. Everything they verified, and they registered section 108 of the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita related to abetment of suicide, and also they kept SAST Prevention of Act relating to alleging caste-based insult and offense against scheduled caste persons. So the accused person denied all allegations. The accused is denying all allegations. His lawyers are arguing that he was simply a strict teacher. According to the defense, the lawyer, strict discipline should not automatically become a criminal offense. That was argument by the accused advocates. But what the student advocate are arguing that when the professor sought anticipatory bail, his lawyers made several arguments. First, they argued that there was no direct evidence showing that the professor intended to student's death. Second, they said strict teaching methods cannot be equated with abetment to suicide. And third, they were saying that they pointed to another incident that allegedly occurred shortly before the suicide. And according to the defense, but Nitin had taken a loan through the accused lawyers, Nitin had taken a loan through a mobile application, allegedly used the professor's name as a guarantor without permission. So recovery agent later contacted the professor, creating another source of stress. So the defense argued that the incident, not classroom discipline, and may have contributed more directly to the student's mental state. So also the one that the teachers are arrested merely for strict disciplinary action, it could create a chilling effect. So that's where students became afraid to enforce discipline. These are all the defense arguments. But why did the High Court rejected the bail now? But the High Court rejected the bail. The Kerala High Court was not convinced with the defense argument. If noted that allegations were serious, the allegations were still underway. Since the case involved allegations of caste-based humiliation and abetment to suicide, the High Court refused anticipatory bail. The professor then approached the Supreme Court. Supreme Court strong observations. On 13 July 2026, yesterday, the Supreme Court heard the case. The bench consists of Justice Vikram Nath, Justice Sandeep Mehta. The judge had made several oral observations. Justice Sandeep Mehta said, perhaps decades ago, corporal punishment or harsh treatment was common in schools. But society has changed. Teachers today cannot justify public humiliation. The court observed that insulting a student before classmates can permanently damage the student's self esteem and mental health. It's a good statement made by the judge. Justice Vikramnath remarked that a clear message must go to the society. Teachers cannot humiliate students and expect there to be no consequences. The court therefore refused anticipatory bail. It held that the allegations were serious enough to justify continued investigation without granting pre arrest protection. Importantly, this was not finding a guilty. The court also decided that anticipatory bail should not be granted at the stage of the investigation. So the criminal trial is yet to determine accused guilt or innocence. So why is this judgment important now for us? The case is significant for several reasons. First, it highlights the growing recognition of mental health in educational institutions. The Supreme Court intended or indicated that psychological humiliation can have serious consequences if there is no physical abuse, but psychological serious consequences. Secondly, it underscores the importance of dignity in classroom. Discipline is a legitimate part of teaching, but public humiliation, especially if linked to caste or personal background, can have severe consequences if proven. So third, the allegations invoke the SAST Prevention Act, reflecting the seriousness with the caste-based results are treated under Indian law. Finally, the court's observation sent a broader message to educational institutions that maintaining disciplinary must not come at the cost of students' dignity. You can discipline, but not by humiliating their caste, parents' profession, because they are laborers and because it's dark complexion, you cannot talk. This is such a good judgment from the Kerala High Court and as well as Supreme Court. So the death of Nitin Raj has become more than individual criminal case now. Teacher accountability, student mental health, caste discrimination, and the culture within higher educational institutions. So the Supreme Court has made it clear that the classroom humiliation, if proven, cannot be dismissed and ordered in discipline. At the same time, the criminal trial is still pending, and the allegations against the professor remains to be tested in court. Obviously, the final determination of guilt or innocence will be made only after the judicial process is completed, but the investigation and trial should continue. The case is likely to sharp future debates on student rights and the teacher conduct and accountability in educational institutions across India. This is what I understand. Thanks for watching this video.